everybody, welcome back to Sunny Preps. It's going to be a real short video today. I had some old potatoes that I needed to preserve somehow before they went bad, and I'm going to show you what I did. I put them in the dehydrator, and I came to the conclusion that it would probably just be cheaper to buy dehydrated potatoes by the time you spend the time and the electricity and pay for the potatoes. Especially if you grow your own potatoes, it might be okay, but if you grow your own potatoes and you have a solar dehydrator, which I mentioned later in the video that is one of my plans, is to build a solar dehydrator so that it doesn't require any electricity. That would be the way to go in the long run. But since I don't have that built yet and these potatoes are going bad, got them in my plug-in dehydrator, and it worked great. And then I show you how to seal it with the Food Saver jar sealer. So come along with me. In the meantime, I learned things and I'll share them with you. One of the other things that I'm going to do today is that I have all of these potatoes in my fridge, and a friend of mine actually left town for a while and didn't want to keep her potatoes, so she gave them to me, and I had a bag already. But on keto, I am not going to eat these, and I don't cook that much anyway, let's be honest. So I'm going to put them in the dehydrator, and I will show you how I do that. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, I looked up online what I should do with these potatoes. I'm going to wash them and peel them and then slice them on a mandolin and then put them into cold water with lemon juice. And then I'm going to boil them for 4 minutes, put them in ice water right away, and then put them on the dehydrator. See what happens. I wouldn't normally peel these, but all the recipes that I looked at online said that you should peel them. So I don't know if that was just personal preference, but they really need to be peeled. And I don't know if I said this before, but add a little bit of lemon juice to the water to keep them from turning brown before they're boiled. I don't know how much is enough. Now, I don't know how many will fit in my dehydrator. I just have the trays actually stack a little differently when they're used. That's the storage configuration. I just have that cheap round one. I got it from Aldi. But it works, and I don't have room for a bigger one here. Someday I'll get a bigger one. But actually one of my projects that I want to do is to make a solar dehydrator that does not rely on electricity. I'll be doing that hopefully pretty soon because I'd like to use it on some of my fall harvest. Okay, I'm slicing the potatoes, and I'm using a Pampered Chef mandolin slicer. I tried it on the number 2 setting, and they seem like they'd probably be good and using them later, but they might take a long time to dehydrate. And so then I set it on 1, and I think these will dehydrate nicely, but I'm probably just going to end up with mush when I rehydrate them. When I try to cook with them. But I'll give them both a try. I think I'm going to leave it on the 1. I want them to dehydrate quickly. And so the mandolin, just put that on there. I'm going to get some big slices out of this one. Push the potato in place. holding this just right over the water. And at first the protection guard isn't really doing anything, but as the potato gets smaller, come down over that protection guard. Some of the potatoes are sticking to the side. And now I need to push the rest of the potato through. I love this Pampered Chef mandolin slicer. So easy to clean up. And that's still the lemon juice water, so that'll last. Or they'll keep them from getting brown until my water is finished boiling. And I'm boiling in, don't look at the rest of my kitchen, it's probably a mess. I'm boiling in a stock pot with a colander so that it'll be easy to pick them up right away and stick them in cold water, which is what the recipes recommend to stop the cooking process right away. Okay, here's the potatoes. I was right, that number one is just too thin. It's not cooked yet, but they fell apart in the boiling process. So here's number two, that's going to stay nice and whole. So the number two thickness looks like it's a good thickness. The number one, there's little pieces all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate them, but it'd be nicer if they were all just the big full pieces. So that, oh, and here's my dehydrator tray. I'm going to fill up as many as I have, and if I have any room, I'll put some of my herbs that I harvested earlier. Okay, so all 6 trays, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays are going in the dehydrator, and there is a lot left, but they're mostly these broken little pieces. I can pull out big ones, I can pull out some big ones, but they're a lot of the broken little pieces, and even the big ones are really fragile because they're the thin ones. So definitely don't slice your potatoes too thin if you're going to dehydrate them, but I will figure out what to do with those. I haven't decided yet. Finish cooking them, mash them, freeze them, I don't know. But I know I'm not going to eat them right now. Good morning, everybody. It's next morning, and these have been in the dehydrator overnight for, it's probably a little bit more than overnight, but on medium to high heat, and the ones in the top are nice and crispy. These are the dehydrated potatoes. Now, I can't feel any spots where they're still bendy. They're all crispy. So I'm going to put them in a jar. And if I find any that are still a little bendy, then I'll keep them going for a little while longer. And then I'll vacuum seal the jar with my food saver. And these are screens that I actually cut to fit into my food dehydrator. They fit right over like this when you don't have food in there. They fit right over like that, and so you can put really small things around that won't, that would otherwise fall through. And I actually cut those myself, but you just want to make sure they're plastic screen. And I'm going to put those in place and put the other potatoes that were just falling apart, and those are basically going to just be potato flakes for mashed potatoes when they're rehydrated. So that is where we are. I'm going to get these in the jar, and I'll show you how the food saver works, just in case anybody doesn't know. Those are awesome. I only learned about them once I started watching prepper channels, so there might be somebody out there that doesn't know how to use it, and I'll show you that. All those potatoes I dehydrated before fit into half of a half-gallon jar. That and the little shreds are back here, and this is a quart jar, so they're half of a quart jar. So a lot of dehydrating time and electricity spent on that. I think definitely buying potato shreds, unless you're growing them yourselves, but these are store-bought potatoes, but they're going to go bad if I just leave them in the fridge. If I just leave them anywhere else, they really go bad. So I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate these as well. This is just a method to save these from just going completely bad. And this, this is terrible. I put the Catadine up on these wood blocks so that we can use the spigot in the sink better, but I don't like this, so I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do with that. But again, not today, pick my battles. All right, I'm gonna get peeling and slicing. So the second dehydrator load full should be finished. I just got home from work, so let me turn this off and check and see. I rotated this morning. It takes quite a while for nice thick slices of potato to dehydrate, so that's what I'm saying. It's probably a lot cheaper to just buy this unless you grow your own potatoes. I'm going to let this cool down a little bit. It's a little warm. I don't want to put it into a sealed jar while it's warm, because I feel like then we would get condensation on the inside of the jar. So we'll let that cool down, and we'll add it to the jar and see how much. Hi guys. Okay, whole nother day now, and I just got home from work again. But this is a good time for me to show you how to seal the lid on the jars. If you'll notice here, I've got the Food Saver, this is the wide mouth jar sealer, and the regular jar sealer. I can't remember if these came with the kit that I bought when I originally bought it, or if I had ordered them separately. But we just need the wide mouth. I use the wide mouth for just about everything. And I keep the Food Saver, my kitchen is really small, has very little storage, so I keep it over here in the corner. I keep it covered with a dust cover that came with it, actually. And here are some of the bags and supplies that go with it. So those can actually just stay there. It's plugged in already, so we'll turn the power on while I get this out. And you see what it looks like. You just put this, take the ring off, put this on top of the canning jar. Okay, so you saw how that just fits right down on top of the lid, no ring. Push it down on top of the lid. Mine comes with this retractable hose, which I really like. And it comes with this is an attachment to seal the Ziploc bags that come especially with the Food Saver. I don't think it'll work on just a regular Ziploc bag. I haven't actually tried this, so I can't tell you whether it works or not, but that just pops off of there. And this part is the part you stick down in the hole on top of the jar, or on top of the sealer, jar sealer. Okay, just push that down in there, make sure it's got a good snug seal, and you push this button, vacuum. And of course they're all a little different, so make sure you read the instructions. It's going to get loud. And I always got scared before it shut itself off. I thought it was going to blow up or something, but it does shut itself off. And you can just pull that off, retract it for a minute, and take it off. That just pulls right off. There's no trick to it or anything. It just pulls off. And I put the ring on it. Just easy to store the ring that way. I'll write on here when these were dehydrated and sealed. I think it's obvious what it is, but this one's the same way. Now you can do this with a brake bleeder, a hand pump brake bleeder, and I really want to get one of those. But I was in the auto parts store the other day. And I asked them about a hand pump brake bleeder, and it came with a whole kit of stuff that I would never use because I'm not ever going to hand pump brakes, bleed brakes, and it was like $45. So I think they're available even from Amazon, but when I get one, I will do this and make sure and see that it works. I saw it on Prepsteader, so I know it works. I just want to make sure I can do it. So that's how the Food Saver works. I'm a little careful trying to get that off so I don't break the seal, but again, it's sealed completely. And now it's just time to put everything away. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Don't forget, a rainy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and I will see you again in a couple days. Bye.